Hi, this is Queenie Yu. I'm with Daniel Zeraldo, who is running for councillor in Ward 4. Daniel, welcome to Bullet Point News.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks. Daniel, what are the qualities that would make you a successful councillor?
I think I'm really passionate about Stouffville and about the community, and I think that's one thing that really will help me if I become the councillor. I'm really focused on wanting to improve things in the community and bring concerns of residents to the table. I also have a extensive education. I have a master's degree in business, and I've worked for a number of major companies like Bell Canada, Canada Life, Enercare over the years. So I think my work and business experience would also really benefit me well on council if I'm elected as well.
If you were elected councillor, how would you be accessible and transparent to your constituents?
Well, it's great you asked that because it's one of the four priorities in my platform, which is council accountability. So the first thing I want to do is I want to publish how I vote on everything if I'm elected to council. Right now, like you have to reach out to your councillor, the mayor, ask them how they voted. I'd like to just put that out there so that residents can look that up at you know, at their convenience and know how I'm voting on various issues. Um, I also want to have town hall meetings at least every quarter to meet with residents face to face if they want to come out and share their concerns and discuss what's going on in the ward. And um, I think doing those two things will bring, better accountability and better transparency to the next council.
What issues concern you the most and why? And what are you going to do about them?
The biggest issue for me right now, and it's also part of my platform, is cost of living. With high interest rates, high inflation, I think those things are really impacting residents and families right now, and they're going to be for the foreseeable future. Um, I don't hear a lot of candidates talking about it, very few in this election, regardless of what position they're running for. Uh, I think the municipality has, a lot to say about that. We can need to work on, at least for the next few years, keeping costs down, keeping property taxes down, user fees, um, water and wastewater charges, whatever we can, just to help residents out. And as I said, keep things affordable so that as people continue to face these pressures, they're not going to be, you know, pushed under by the municipality. So um, that's a big thing for me. My next thing would be development and the environment. I think those two things go hand in hand, and we've seen, especially in Ward 4, in the last number of years, extensive development, a lot of high-rise buildings going in, and just a lot of concern I hear at the door about that. Not that people are against it, but they feel it's really at a breakneck pace. So one thing I'm promising is that I will not support any developments on the green belt. I will not support any developments that are not in the long-term interest of the community or that threaten the environment, in any significant way. So I'm making that pledge as part of my platform, and I also want to ensure that the proper development, planning, and zoning processes are followed in all cases, and that we're following best practices, and that residents are consulted and discuss with on all of these things because I'm hearing that, and I've seen myself as a resident that we're not. It feels like we're not giving residents full say in all of these issues, especially with all of these MZOs coming down from the province and other things. Uh, I think that they want to have input on that. So I think development, the environment, cost of living, those are probably the two biggest things for me.
For what initiatives would you lobby for more funding and why?
Um, Transit. I think during the last term, we've lost a couple of big transit routes through the YRT, and I think that's a big loss for us. There's a lot of people, especially young people, that rely on that to get to school, to get around town, to get around York Region. So I think working with the mayor or the councillors, other levels of government to attract more funding for that would be really important. And also, I know we do have some major improvements going on in terms of Metrolinx and Go Transit, the electrification and two-way service from Old Elm to downtown. But for anyone such as myself who's taken the GO train 5 days a week to Toronto, it's a really long ride. It's packed, so we'd like to see some more improvements in that regard as well. More trains, maybe an express route with less stops, so that you can get downtown, get to work faster.
What would you do for small and medium-sized businesses in Stouffville?
It's a really important issue. We hear a lot of talk about balancing our tax base between residential and commercial. So a big part of that is keeping businesses here that are already here. So um, I think it's important, just like with residents, to engage with businesses, talk to them, listen to what issues they're facing. Certainly coming out of COVID, I know a lot of them struggled because of the lockdowns and various restrictions associated with that. So listening, engaging, and trying to use whatever levers we can for the municipality to help them be more successful, whether that's attracting grants or working on certain tax issues and whatnot to try to make it better for them.
This past year, what accomplishments of yours are you most proud of?
Uh, for me, it's always family first. So I'm really proud of my daughter, 7-year-old daughter, and my wife and I working hard to raise her up and raise her into a really strong young woman, and that'll be successful. So um, I always point to my family as my best success. So uh, that's what I would say for that.
That's great. And what would you say to undecided voters?
I would say for them, have a look at all the candidates' platforms, their websites, their social media. Reach out to them. If we come to your door, definitely answer the door if you have time and talk to us for a couple minutes. Regardless of whether you support me or not, I hope you will. But if you don't, vote, because as we saw in the provincial election in June, the voter turnout was extremely low. I think only 42%, and municipal elections are notoriously always low, below 50%. And even in Ward 4, I noticed some precincts in the last election was below even 40%, 30 something percent. So you want to just make sure you vote, educate yourself, have a look at all the candidates, and get involved, because you want to have a say in the process.
Great. And is there anything else you would like to say to the audience at Bullet Point News?
Again, if they're interested, they can follow me on social media, on Facebook at Zeraldo Ward 4, on Twitter at Daniel Zeraldo WS, or you can go to my website, www.zeraldo.ca. That's Zeraldo.
Great. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks. Good luck and bye.